I just fell screaming, and I had to come here to the hospital and hold lots of blood tests and stuff.
At the age of 6, I was playing backyard baseball, twisted my, well, I thought twisted my ankle in a pothole that was second base. Bad decision. Long story short on that, it twisted my hip bone and my lower section of my spine in such a way where it caused a tumor to form, which we didn't know that. My dad came in from work about 2 weeks after the twisting happened, and as a young kid, I'm like, "Yay, Dad's home, I'm gonna go give him a hug." Well, got up, took 2 steps, fell right down, and started screaming. And my parents rushed me to the ER, and 2 weeks after that, we found the tumor was there. That was 2 weeks of biopsies and more MRIs, more CAT scans, and more blood tests, and it was quite the ordeal. During the whole time, the hospital had just hired their first child life specialist, which is completely CMN funded on that side. And her entire job is making sure that a child's world in the hospital is as perfectly normal as possible.
Yeah.
So making sure that I knew what was happening, that I knew what an IV was, that I knew what a biopsy was, just taking the fear out of the hospital. As a kid, seeing a bunch of needles and being stuck in a tube that makes a lot of knocking noises, all that's really scary. No matter how comforting the parents are, how comforting the doctors are, I mean, which they were all great, but it's still scary. And her job took the fear out of that. So it's really, really cool to be a part, to have that available to the kids in the hospital, taking the fear out of that. So, I mean, after all that was said and done, the probability was down to 2 options. It was major back surgery, open me up, scrape it out, and hope for the best. And that was long recovery time, very, very painful, very intrusive. Or put a central line in, essentially an IV directly to your heart, and do a form of chemotherapy. My mom, being an ER nurse, knowing how bad the back surgery would have been, she elected to try the central line first. If that didn't work, well, then we still have surgery to do. So for 6 weeks, I missed the first 6 weeks of first grade. My mom did chemotherapy in home through the central line, and it slowly shrunk away that tumor. So a subset of CMN fundraising is called Extra Life. Essentially, it's raising funds by gaming. Whether it's board games, video games, card games, we did paintball not long ago, really anything like gaming related. It's a way to raise funds for CMN that way. Whether you do it by live streaming, which is what I do on occasion, whether you do it just by sitting on your couch, if you sell cookies and then play video games and put that toward Extra Life, it doesn't matter what you do really, or how you structure it. If you do it by yourself or with the team, or if you do it with the whole state, it doesn't really matter. It's all just a way of raising funds for CMN through this avenue. So for me, I stream 6 nights a week, just trying to kind of raise an awareness around it. I stream for CMN National on the Twitch channel every Thursday. And it's just raising awareness for what CMN really is. I mean, Children's Miracle Network's been around for a while, but people our age don't really know what it is, and if they do, they don't know how to interact with it. Like, do I go to their miracle runs? Well, sure, but not everyone likes running. Do I go to and watch their telethons? Cool, but I mean, not many people our age sit down and actually have cable television to watch anymore. So our avenue is gaming. Almost everyone in our generation does it of some kind, whether it's on their phone or through an Xbox or PC or whatever. I mean, everyone plays a board game, family game night.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a really unique avenue. Now, I guess this year I'll be married 3 years to my high school sweetheart. We've been together 8 years this year. So it's really neat that she's been a part of my life and a part of CMN ever since we got together. We started dating in the summer, and it was right before CMN Telethon. So like 2 weeks after we started dating, it's like, hey, I'm doing this thing, I'm gonna come on TV with me. It was really neat. And she kind of jumped head first into it, and she's very supportive. She helps to plan the events that I plan for Extra Life. She's very supportive, knowing that I got to be in front of a webcam streaming 6 nights a week.
Right.
I mean, she's very understanding and very passionate about CMN and Extra Life herself, which is really very encouraging for me, because it reassures that what I'm doing is not selfish and very worthwhile, even though it isn't to begin with. But if to some people, it might be me playing video games in front of a webcam for 6 nights a week instead of doing it for something bigger than that. I mean, for me, it's by no means for like internet fame or anything. I mean, if that happens, whatever. But it's just more of, you know, getting back to CMN on that side. So my personal life is very boring away from that. Just go to work, come home. I mean, watch movies, whatever else. But yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, more often than not, if someone asks me why I should donate to CMN, I tell them my background and my story, just because I'm a local guy who like went through all this and benefited from it to begin with. And more often than not, that's reason enough for them to understand what it is. And if they can donate, even if it's just $1, like it's a donation towards helping kids get out of the hospital. So I mean, it's really interesting in that regard. Now, if that doesn't get them, really, it's a way of phrasing it to where, yeah, your child might not have had to be in the hospital, but there are hundreds of kids a year who go to the one right down the street, and some are there almost year-round for some severe causes. So I mean, it's more of a pay it forward type of thing, where even though you might not have had it directly happen to you, but I guarantee you, if you ask like down the list of people that you know, someone's been in the hospital for something for an extended period of time, which for me is over a week, and someone down that they know has taken advantage of something CMN related in that hospital.